All right. Thank you for joining me. This is addictMMA, joined again by UFC legend of the Octagon, Chris Lytle, and another round of fight predictions for UFC 64. Dustin Porteir takes on Conor McGregor for the trilogy. All right, so Chris, we both agree this is kind of a coin flip of a fight card. Really, it's hard to predict, is what I'm saying. This is such a good fight card.
Man, very, very difficult. You're right. Sometimes you have a couple squashes in there. You're like, okay, this guy's plus 800 or minus 800 or whatever. Not too many of those in this card. So there's a lot of ones. You got a lot of very similarly ranked people.
Right. And in UFC fashion, typical UFC fashion, they're going to start it off. They're going to start the main card with a really good marquee fight. They've got Sugar Sean O'Malley taking on Luis Smolka for the first fight. And again, this is a tough one. Like, everybody likes Sugar Sean. I like him. I love his counter striking abilities. I love how he uses the kicks, almost like John Jones or an Adesanya will use them in the heavier divisions. He uses them in the lighter divisions to keep that distance and find his counter punches. And
he makes for a difficult fight being that tall and that long and that lanky at that weight class. And most of the guys don't have that. So, yeah, he uses that to his advantage like those other guys do.
I would look at Sean O'Malley like the clear cut, like he's the one that should win. But I like Luis Smolka here, man. Luis Smolka has got a way of swarming a guy and kind of taking him out of his element. You know what I mean?
And I'm not gonna lie, I know I'm probably in the minority here, but I feel like a lot of people don't see it, something I do. And Sean O'Malley, to me, he showed me, when he lost his fight, he blamed it on his foot. He laid in the cage. There was a lot of things there that made me think, when push comes to shove, I'm not sure. I think this guy's a very good hammer, but he might not be a very good nail. So there is always, seriously, I think when he loses, he's going to always have an excuse. This happened. The lighting was in my eyes. There's always going to be some reason. I don't think he's quite as great as he thinks. It's a very tough fight for him. I agree.
Yeah, it is. And that's why I'm picking Luis Smolka. So I guess we agree on that one.
I don't know if I'd go that far right now. This is a very tough fight for him. I'm about 50-50 on this one. I think it is a very tough style for both fighters, to be honest with you. More so for Sugar, but just to be in the competitive spirit, I'm going to go against you. I'll take Sugar.
Well, hey, you won the last fight card, UFC 263. You got it with that goddamn tiebreaker. So
I know. Just doing it to be different from me. That's why I'm going to do this one too.
I'm glad we've got a tough one that's 50-50 now. Okay, so next up is women's bantamweight division. Irene Aldana takes on Jana Kunitskaya. And that, again, is a very tough fight. Aldana, I believe, is ranked number 4. Kunitskaya, number 5. Both of these girls are looking for the next step to get to that title fight next division. For me, I find Irene to be very aggressive, more aggressive than Jana Kunitskaya is. I don't want to say Jana's not good at striking. She's great at striking. But I just mean more aggressive. She uses her power. She uses explosion, and she tries to do that every time. And she mixes it up very well with a ground game, and she's very quick with her transitions. And she's got the best takedown defense, I think, in UFC history at like 93%. I think I read that.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
I'm serious. So, as much as Jana is a woman who can drag somebody to the later rounds, and she's been in there with the best, I still think Irene pulls this one off.
You know what? This one I'm gonna have to agree with you, because in my opinion, this is a very tough fight. It's a very even fight. So in my opinion, what usually wins that kind of fight is a person who's being more aggressive and coming forward and trying to do the most damage. So in any kind of a really close fight, I'm always going to go for the person who's trying to do the most damage and pushing forward. And I think that's going to be her. So I think that this gives more than counter striking, good ability, good stand. If it's an even fight, they're both landing similar, they're both landing good things. I think it's a person who's overly aggressive who's going to win the fight. So that's why I'm going with her as well.
All right. Very good. All right. So we're 1-1 at the moment, just in the spirit of competition.
There we go.
This is my favorite thing about you, Chris, is that there's a level of competition no matter what you're doing.
No matter what.
No matter what. That's how you get better in life, right? All right, so the next up is in the heavyweight division, dude. Tai Tuivasa, excuse me, against former NFL football player Greg Hardy. And this is a very evenly matched fight. For me, Tai Tuivasa should be the one that you think is going to win because he's got the kickboxing background. He's got a little bit of a boxing background, but he's done really well. And it translates a little bit into the MMA division, of sports. But I mean, Greg Hardy, man, this dude's a beast. He's explosive. Like we were talking about Irene, he's explosive, and he's down there training with Dean Thomas and fucking Rashad Evans. So they're teaching him how to fight on the ground. They're teaching him how to do takedown defense a proper way to keep those explosive fists flying. I'm actually picking Greg Hardy here, man.
Well, I'm going to go against Greg Hardy, more so than anything. I feel like, I mean, I usually pick him to lose, and most of the time he proves me wrong. Not just that I'm, not a big fan of, I don't know, but I feel like in a tough fight, he's going to find a way to fold, and it's not going to be, I don't know. I just feel like mentally if he's better than you, he's going to win the fight. And if it's tough and he hits that wall, I think he finds a way not to win the fight. And that's what I feel like is going to happen here. So It's not, I mean, he proves me wrong a lot. I usually go against him for some reason. I don't know why. I think I honestly have like a level of, when these guys come over from the NFL, I'm always like pissed on these guys. They haven't put their work in. But I mean, really, at the heavyweight division, it's all about being a great athlete. He's a great athlete, but I'm still picking him to lose.
Right on. All right, so you pick Ty, I pick Greg. All right, very good. So this ought to be a fun one. The co-main event, welterweight division, Gilbert Burns taking on the Wonder Boy Stephen Thomps.
I'll go first on this one because you always go first, and I know Wonder Boy's really difficult. His style's very difficult to deal with, man. He moves so much. It's very hard to take him down. He times everything. He's got that point fighter movement. But I mean, Gilbert Burns to me, he's just been really, really impressing me. I know he hasn't won all his fights. Just the way he fights, he really impressed me. I think he mixes it up good enough. He can try and take you wherever you're not as good. He can try and keep it on his feet and bang, or he'll try and get you to the ground. He'll do whatever it's going to take him. If this were a 5-round fight, I'd definitely go with him. But I'm still thinking on a 3-round fight, I'm still going to go with Gilbert Burns. He's just really been impressing me lately. I think he's a very well-rounded fighter. It's just, can he solve that matrix? I'm going to say he gets it done, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. Once again, this is like one of those 51%. I'm picking him. I would 49 go with Wonder Boy, but I'm going to go with Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, I'm basically, you said kind of what I was going to say. I'm going to piggyback off of you for a time. You know what? I should let you go first more. It's exactly what I thought as well. I figured, Gilbert Burns is kind of another level than what Stephen Thompson's used to dealing with. And we've seen that against Usman. Even though he lost against Usman, Gilbert Burns did. He showed us some things about himself that we didn't maybe know before. Like, you don't take him lightly at all because he's so well-rounded, so powerful, and so good in his wrestling. I think, just like you said, he'll take Stephen to his very most uncomfortable levels. And I agree with you on that one. So I'm trying to keep track here. We got one against each other, one we agreed, one against each other, one we agreed. So again, we come down to a tiebreaker in the main event with Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. And this is literally the coin flip. Do you want to go first or shall I?
I'll go first again. I mean, this is one where obviously Conor wins first one by knockout. Poirier, even he won the second one, but he was getting tagged. He was getting tagged early. He was taking some shots.
Yeah.
He adjusted well. I mean, and this is what the last one came down to me for, and I'm going with it again. I'm going to go with Poirier, and this is the one reason. I still think he has a chip on his shoulder. He's still trying to prove something. He still thinks
hungry.
He's still hungry. And I don't care what anybody says. You sell your company for $200 million. I don't know if that hunger can be there. I mean, you might want it to be the most important thing in your life, but it's not the most important thing in your life. I mean, you can want this, you can want that, but there's a different level of wanting, in my opinion. At the end of the day, when push comes to shove, you have to want it. You have to be willing to die out there. Conor's not willing to do that, in my opinion.
He has fed himself well, and there's absolutely zero wrong with that. But he's just not hungry for the fight, like you're saying. Yeah. Unfortunately, just for the spirit of competition, I have to pull for Conor now because I agree with you.
But actually, we got two other fights different, so you never know. I don't know.
I mean, I do agree with you on the Dustin Poirier thing, but it's so tough because I do wonder if Conor's got a slight bit of hunger left in him because, like you said,
he does.
In that first round in the last fight, Dustin did take a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And any one of those punches can knock a dude out. Now Conor's been a little bit more active, a little bit more training since that last fight. He's got a drive. So, yeah, you know what? The hell with it. In the spirit of competition, I will take Conor. You could have Dustin. I can
see that one going either way really good. Like you said, most of these fights I can see going either way, just like you said. But I like that because, hell, I just hope it comes down to the last fight and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, dude, we basically almost agree and don't agree. I hope I beat you this time. I will keep track. Hey, man, I know you're busy. I'm going to let you go. Thank you for joining me, Chris. Again, always a pleasure. You're the fucking best, dude.
Appreciate it, man. Down here doing the bare knuckle thing. We got fights this weekend, so it's going to be great.
All right, cool, man. Well, anytime you want to talk about that stuff, I know you're going to be in Tampa soon. We got to talk about that. Yeah, man, I'll let you go do your thing. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.
Thank you, Chris.